Welcome back to Robinsbrook Homestead. Well, the gardens have well and truly awoken. A spectacular variety of colours now fill the property everywhere you look, and the peaceful country lifestyle we wished for is living up to every expectation.
The crew at Sunnyside Lodge have all been loving their new home.
A little snack. Good job.
And Scout has been helping keep the rest of the property in good order. You like watering, don't you? Is there a bird up there, Scout? He's coming down. Hello, Renry. We're filling up the bath for you, mate. Good job, Scouty.
He's really developed quite the green thumb, and his favourite activity is watering the plants.
Doing a good job. With all the fruit beginning to appear, it's been critical to try to protect what harvest we will have from hungry animals that roam about the property. And there's never a shortage of odd jobs like the window that was needed to let hot air out of the hothouse. Well, I tell you what, she's a little rough and ready, but it's done the job for sure. And then as soon as my automatic arm comes, I'll be able to install it here, and it will just basically do this automatically when it gets warm. But for now, that's perfect. Okay, so we've got a very exciting day today. We've been waiting for this for a few weeks now. We're going to be installing our Bluetti EP760 unit. Now this is a hybrid solar inverter, because today we're also getting installed solar panels on our roof. Now, along with that, we've got batteries to install. This is a 5 kilowatt hour battery from Bluetti as well. And we're gonna be picking one more of these up this morning for the boys, which is gonna give us 10 kilowatt hours of battery storage. So we're hoping that that will be enough to get us through what we use at night, so that when the sun comes out again the next day, we can refill the battery and also get enough electricity to run the house. So it's going to be really cool to see how all of this unfolds. The boys will be here very soon and they'll get underway. So we've had this system set up for a few days now, and I got to say we're absolutely loving it. I'll give you guys a rundown on like a typical 24-hour cycle for how this whole system works. So you can see right now there's no sun actually hitting the solar panels just yet, but we are producing a little bit more than what we're consuming. So what's going to happen is, once that production starts to ramp up a little bit, we're going to prioritize refilling our battery. So we're a bit over an hour later now. We're now producing 2 kilowatts of energy per hour on average. Our consumption's gone up to 800 because I've just showered and Erin's in the shower, so the hot water cylinder is taking a hit. Now, we're still producing more than what we're consuming, so the battery is still slowly charging, but I'll show you what happens when we ramp up the consumption and it exceeds our production. So let's fire up the dishwasher. Let's also throw on a load of washing. Alright, I ended up having to put the bloody toaster and the oven on as well, but you can see there we're generating 6.2 kilowatts per hour, we're consuming 6.8, and the extra is coming from the battery. Now, how long does it take to actually charge the battery? Well, that depends. So what we've found is, once we've done everything in the morning, like the dishwasher, and we've eaten, and the hot water cylinder is regenerated to a point where it's just even. If we're producing like this, the sun's coming out, if we're doing 6 kilowatts per hour, then it's only an hour and a half basically to get the battery back to full. It still works on overcast days. We've found that the other day actually there was 10 mil of rain, it rained all day, and we were still meeting our needs and recharged the battery for the coming night, which I just couldn't even believe. Like, I'll show you some clips of that from that day. So we're producing 0.5 kilowatt, recharging the battery and using half of it in consumption, and it's just literally raining. Like, this is, for us here, this 5 to 10 mil is a heavy day of rain, and our solar panels are still providing enough energy to run the house and recharge our battery, which I actually can't believe that. And that's not so much the Bluetti system, but that is like a testament to the solar panels that we used. So we got the recommended ones from the Generate guys. I'll give you some details about those because they work really well in like non-direct light as well as direct. So even now, once everything's settled, we can't even use all of the power that we're generating. Like, it's maximizing what it can into the battery, but it can only take a certain amount. So we're actually selling 1.5 kilowatts per hour back to the grid, which we'll then get in credits. So the thing to bear in mind when you're selling energy back to the electrical companies, you're gonna get less than a quarter of what you pay when you buy it in on-peak. On-peak is 36 cents, off-peak is 18 cents, and then you get 8 cents for what you sell back to the electrical company. So you see these people have heaps of solar panels and they try to offset their nighttime use by selling extra throughout the day, but you're only getting 1 energy unit for every 4 you give, which is just daylight robbery. No pun intended. But with the energy bank, with the battery, you've literally got your own reserve that when you need, you can take it from. So there's no need to take from the grid ever. If you have enough battery, then you're completely self-sufficient. And I literally am so blown away by the amount of production and value that has come from the Bluetti unit and the solar panels that the guys from Generate have installed for us. So if you're anything like me, when I first started researching the whole solar panel world, I used to think that it was just so expensive and completely unaffordable. Like, the idea of getting a battery to back up the home was just, like, in my mind, a joke. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized that that whole thing was just a misconception, because first of all, the technology's come a long way. The market's very competitive, and Bluetti appears to be leading that. Second of all, the state government is still giving out rebates to people who want to install. So the installer gets the rebate, which is then handed back on to you, the customer. And third of all, the state government is also still giving out 0% interest-free loans for people who want to have solar installed. So those three things combined made this a goer for us. Like, we applied for the loan, we got it, and I'll crunch some numbers for you. So looking at the EP760 and one battery is $6,299. Now the EP760 and two batteries, which is what we got, is $8,099. And you can customize it. You can go 3 or 4 batteries, completely up to what your needs are. Now, in terms of the actual solar panels, we were quoted $10,690. The government rebate was $2,590, bringing the purchase price down to $8,100. So we've got $17,100. Now, if you look at our daily average cost, which was $7.41, you divide 17,100 by 7.41 equals 2,307 days. Now let's divide that into 365, and this is how many years? 6.32 years. Now that seems pretty damn good to me. And also, that's not even taking into consideration the fact that electricity prices will continue to rise in that time frame that we won't be paying for. And it's not taking into consideration the amount of electricity that will continue to sell back to the grid, which is guaranteed almost every day. So yeah, that's an awesome little setup, Robinsbrook 2.0. For something that started out just as an idea to be able to power the home in the next power outage, it really went above and beyond what I could have ever imagined. And that's all thanks to Bluetti's awesome unit. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to check them out, because I highly recommend them. And I'm sure we'll keep you posted in the future about how everything's going, how much electricity we've generated and how much we've saved and stuff in the future. But I just wanted to share what I've learned as well, because I've taken in so much knowledge over the last couple of weeks about this whole thing, and I feel like it's worth sharing. Like, this is part of us becoming more self-sustainable and self-reliable, and we couldn't be happier with the results.
One of the many surprises in our garden was this giant elderflower tree in our backyard.
Yep.
Having never had the privilege of owning one before, we decided to learn how to make elderflower syrup. Here's how we did it. The recipe we use calls for 30 heads of elderflower. Then take 2 liters of water and bring it to the boil. Add 1 kilogram of sugar to the boiling water and dissolve by stirring thoroughly. Then remove the pot from the heat and add 1 lemon halved. We cleaned up any extra stems from the flowers and then stirred them into the pot, making sure they were all under the waterline. Then we left it overnight. Smells so good, doesn't it?
It does. Tastes good too.
We had an alcohol-free wedding and we served up elderflower sparkling. It's kind of like a cordial, isn't it?
Yeah, elderflower champagne, I think they call it.
So this smell reminds me of that.
Scouty, just hang tight, bro.
Alright, so I might get you to hold this for me.
Yep.
I'll pour.
Beautiful. Look at that. When you squeeze it.
Oh, so much juice. And all that pollen stuff would be in there too.
My little automatic hothouse vent opener arrived in the mail just in time for summer. and seems to be doing a pretty good job handling those hot days.
Have a chip.
Alright.
Chipmunk.
Oh, delicious.
2, 3, cheers!
That is so nice. Let's drink that whole bottle.